Have you ever wanted to tell someone how you truly felt, but fear stopped you? Fear of rejection, fear of losing them, fear of changing everything. If you have, then this message is for you. There was something I wanted to tell you for a very long time. A message I wrote 100 times in my mind. A message my heart repeated every day, but I was never brave enough to send it. Every time I opened our conversation, I would stare at the screen. I would type a few words, then delete them, again and again. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I cared too much. I was afraid that one message could change everything between us. Maybe you never noticed. Maybe you thought I was just another person in your life. But the truth is, you became much more than that to me. You became the first thought in the morning, the last thought before I slept, and somehow, the reason behind so many of my smiles. I still remember the small moments, the conversations that meant nothing to you, but everything to me. The way you made ordinary days feel special. The way your presence brought peace to my chaotic mind. You probably never realized your impact on my life. Because I never told you. I kept everything hidden. Not because I wanted to, but because I was afraid. Afraid that if I spoke my heart, I might lose the little connection we already had. Sometimes people think silence means a lack of feelings. But often, silence hides the deepest emotions. The words we never say are usually the words that matter the most. And my silence was full of words. Words of admiration. Words of appreciation. Words of love. There were moments when I almost told you everything. Moments when my heart wanted to speak louder than my fear. But every time doubt won. I kept telling myself that there would be another chance. Another day. Another moment. But life doesn't always give us another chance. Sometimes opportunities leave quietly. And when they do, they take our courage with them. One day I realized something painful. I wasn't afraid of rejection. I was afraid of losing hope. Because as long as I stayed silent, a small part of me could still imagine a different ending. A happy ending. One where you felt the same way. One where you looked at me the way I looked at you. One where this message didn't remain unsent. But reality is different from imagination. And sometimes the hardest thing we have to do is accept what we cannot change. If you're listening to this and there is someone in your heart right now, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't wait forever. Don't assume there will always be more time. Tell people how much they mean to you. Let them know how important they are. Because one day, silence may become your biggest regret. And regrets have a way of staying with us longer than memories. Today, I still think about that message. The message I was never brave enough to send. Not because I expect anything anymore, but because it taught me an important lesson. Life is too short for unspoken feelings. Too short for hidden emotions. Too short for words left unsaid. And if somehow this message reaches the person who inspired it, I just want to say one thing. Thank you. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the smiles. Thank you for being a beautiful chapter in my life. Even if you never knew it. Even if you never felt the same. And maybe that's okay. Because some people are meant to stay in our hearts, even if they never stay in our lives. This was the message I was never brave enough to send. And perhaps, somewhere out there, someone needed to hear it today. If this message touched your heart, subscribe for more emotional stories, heartfelt messages, and words that speak directly to the soul. The strange thing about memories is that they never really leave us. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many new people enter our lives, there are some memories that quietly stay with us forever. You become busy. You move forward. You build a new life. Yet somewhere deep inside, a small part of your heart still remembers. I remember the little things about you. The things most people would probably forget. The way you spoke when you were excited. The way you laughed at things that weren't even funny. The way your voice could instantly make a bad day feel a little better. These details may seem small, But sometimes the smallest details leave the biggest impact. Years can pass. Entire chapters of life can change. Yet one memory can bring everything back in a second. One song, one place, one message, one photograph, and suddenly you're standing in the past again, thinking about someone you thought you had forgotten. Maybe that's why moving on is never as simple as people make it sound. People often say, just let go, but they never explain how. How do you let go of someone who became a part of your story? How do you stop caring about someone who once meant everything? How do you erase memories that helped shape who you are? The truth is, you don't. You don't erase them. You learn to live with them. You carry them differently. At first, memories feel like pain. Then they become lessons. And eventually, they become a quiet reminder of how much you were capable of feeling. There was a time when I thought losing you was the worst thing that could happen. I thought the sadness would never end. I thought the emptiness would stay forever. But life surprised me, because while the pain didn't disappear overnight, it slowly became easier to carry. The nights became less lonely. The memories became less painful. And my heart learned how to heal. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means remembering without breaking apart. That's the difference. Sometimes people confuse healing with forgetting, but they're not the same thing. You can heal and still remember. You can move forward and still care. You can smile again while carrying old memories in your heart. That's what growth looks like. Growth isn't becoming a different person. Growth is becoming a stronger version of yourself. A version that understands pain. A version that understands loss. A version that understands the value of genuine connections. If I could go back in time, would I change anything? I ask myself that question often. Would I send a message? Would I confess my feelings? Would I take the risk? For a long time, my answer is yes. But now I'm not so sure. Because every experience, even the painful ones, teaches us something important. And losing you taught me lessons I could have never learned any other way. You taught me courage, even though I wasn't brave enough back then. You taught me appreciation. You taught me patience. You taught me that some people can change your life without even realizing it. Most importantly, you taught me that love isn't always about getting what you want. Sometimes love is simply being grateful that someone existed, being grateful that their path crossed yours, even if only for a little while. And maybe that's enough. Maybe not every story needs a perfect ending. Maybe not every chapter needs a happy conclusion. Maybe some stories are beautiful because they were temporary, because they remind us that life is precious, because they remind us to value every moment, because they remind us that nothing lasts forever. And perhaps that's what makes moments meaningful. If everything lasted forever, we wouldn't appreciate it. If every goodbye could be avoided, we wouldn't value hello. If every heart remained untouched, we would never understand the beauty of connection. Life is imperfect. People are imperfect. Love is imperfect. Yet somehow, that's what makes it special. As I sit here thinking about the message I never sent, I realize something. The message was never really about you. It was about me. It was about fear. It was about hesitation. It was about all the things I allowed fear to steal from me. And that's why I want anyone listening right now to learn from my mistake. Don't let fear make your decisions. Don't let fear control your future. Because fear has a way of convincing us that we're protecting ourselves, when in reality, we're only holding ourselves back. There's a dream you've been postponing, a conversation you've been avoiding, a chance you've been afraid to take. And maybe this is your sign. Maybe this is the reminder you needed. Life rewards courage, not perfection, courage. The people who achieve great things aren't fearless. They're simply willing to act despite their fears. And if I could speak to my younger self today, I would say this. Send a message. Take the chance. Speak your truth. Because even rejection hurts less than years of wondering what could have been. Even failure hurts less than regret, and regret is a burden nobody deserves to carry forever.